Hello, you're watching India Today Global with me, Ishita Mitra. We have a breaking news coming in from Nepal. A plane which was carrying about 19 people crashed at about 11 a.m. local time at Kathmandu's International Airport, Tribhuvan International Airport, and about 19 people were there on board and 18 have been confirmed dead, while the pilot of this aircraft is in critical condition and has been taken to the hospital. So this is the breaking news. Let's break it down for you. So this plane, which was carrying about 19 people, all aircraft crew, none of the passengers was on board, was taking off at about 11 a.m. from the Kathmandu's airport when it skid off the runway and crashed. It soon caught fire, and in the rescue operations, about 18 people could not be saved, while the pilot has been taken to the hospital. Now, if we look at this whole episode, what the details that we know currently is that this aircraft was of Bombardier company. It was a 21-year-old aircraft and it was being used in the Nepal's aviation industry. So, if you look at this incident, Nepal has had a history of crashes. It is not a rare occurrence in the Nepal's history. And this plane, which was en route to Pokhara, a tourism hub in the Himalayan nation, crashed at this very airport, which also has a history of crashes. If you talk in numbers, Nepal's industry has boomed over the years. It has been carrying about goods and people, and it has reached into hard to reach areas, more remote areas. It's known for carrying foreign trekkers and climbers to remote locations. But the major problem here is that the industry is plagued by poor safety norms, and this is essentially due to two reasons: insufficient training and maintenance. You see, in this incident only, the aircraft was 21 years old. We don't have any information about the maintenance which was going on, but it was pretty old aircraft. And due to this, due to its history, in fact, European Union has banned all the Nepali carriers from its airspace over safety concerns. If you look at the larger picture, Nepal averages about one flight disaster a year. And in the last about 12 years, if you see, not 12, at least 14 years, if you see, at least 12 fatal plane crashes have been witnessed. And this is including the latest one, which just happened today around 11 a.m. and about 18 people have died. As of now, reports say that Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli has reached the accident site to take stock of the situation and see how we can assist the victims of this plane crash. If you look at the visuals on your screen, this is where the plane crashed and plumes of smoke could be seen rising after the accident site. What we know is that the fire has been put off and rescue operations have been completed, and the pilot of the crash is still in the hospital. If you look at the history, let me quote few incidents where similar occurrences have been there before. If you look at January 2023, a tragic incident took place when a Yeti Airlines flight crashed near the central city of Pokhara, again a tourism hub in the Himalayan nation, and all 72 people on board were killed. This was the deadliest attack in about 30 years in Nepal's history. And the aircraft plummeted into a steep gorge, breaking into pieces if you look at the visuals, and then it burst into flames, pretty similar to what happened today. And if you go back a year, it was a Tara airplane which crashed in Mustang district. This also resulted in about 22 fatalities, and this was just a year before that. If you go about 6 years ago, then we had 49 people who were killed in a crash when a US Bangla aircraft carrying about 67 passengers and 4 crew members crashed again at the same airport, Tribhuvan International Airport, which the incident took place at today. If you go back again in February 2016, an aircraft carrying about 11 people on board was crashed and about 11 people were killed in Kalikot district of Nepal. So this is the history of Nepal when it comes to crashes. In the last decade, it has seen multiple crashes, multiple fatal crashes in which a lot of passengers have lost their lives. And this is because of the poor safety norms that the country follows when it comes to the aviation industry. although it has seen a boom, it has been adding more airlines and more aircraft on different routes, but when it comes to safety, there has been no proper steps or measures that have been taken place, and the aviation industry continues to be plagued from this crisis. Let's take a look at what happened today again. There was an aircraft that crashed during the takeoff from Kathmandu's International Airport, Tribhuvan Airport. It was carrying about 19 people. So what we know is that no passengers were on board. It was mainly the aircraft crew and the technical staff, and about 18 people have been confirmed dead out of those 19. The pilot is still in the hospital, and the operations have been continuing. Like, the rescue operation has been called off, but we're trying to put out the fire and take stock of the situation at the site. Prime Minister has also reached the site to take stock of the situation and see how it can assist the victims and provide aid to them. Again, the aircraft, I'll mention this again, the aircraft, which was carrying about 19 people, was 21 years old. It was a Bombardier company's aircraft, and it was en route to Pokhara, carrying about 19 people, and the incident occurred at about 11 a.m. local time. So Nepal, but the question is, since Nepal has had a history of bad crashes and fatal crashes, has it been taking steps? Well, the answer is a mixed. It has taken few steps, it has introduced few safety norms. However, they have been not as effective as you can see in today's incident. When it comes to safety checks and measures, they have not been implemented at the ground level, and due to which maintenance basically of planes is not carried out on regular basis, and we continue to see incidents such as the one happened today. Despite the boom that we have seen in the air industry, no checks and no security measures are in place for Nepal. If you can see the visuals on your screen, this is where the crash happened today. Plumes of smoke rising from the aircraft which crashed at the airport. It basically skid away from the runway and then crashed, leading to about death of 18 people. This happened around 11 a.m. local time in Nepal when it was en route to Pokhara. Again, let me remind you, when we talk in numbers, Nepal averages about one flight disaster a year. Now, this is a big number for a country that prides itself on being one of, that has seen a boom in its aviation industry. And if you look at the total numbers, it has seen about 12 fatal plane crashes since 2010. And this includes the latest one. Last year only, we witnessed a deadliest crash. The accident took place when a Yeti Airlines flight crashed near the central city of Pokhara, and about 72 people on board were killed. This was the deadliest crash in about 30 years of Nepal's history. All crew members, passengers lost their lives in the incident, and this happened in a very similar manner as today. This aircraft plummeted into a steep gorge, breaking into pieces, busting into flames as soon as it approached Pokhara. A year ago, Tata airplane crashed also in Mustang district, resulting in the fatalities of about 22 individuals. So, a question arises, why is Nepal not learning its lessons from all the crashes we've seen?
Okay, I'll speak. Put it on speaker.
European Union has even banned Nepal's airlines because of safety concerns. Its Nepal carriers are not allowed in EU's airspace. And it's not just EU. Other countries have also showed concern over the safety measures taken by Nepal's aviation industry over the last decade. But we continue to see such incidents. Today, 18 people have died. Last year, about 70 people had died in an incident. How? So I have with me Geeta Mohan joining us to tell us more about Nepal's aviation industry and how it's not been able to solve its crisis.
Well, that's right. It is a massive incident that we're looking at, not the first time that we're looking at this incident, Ishita. You have been enumerating all the incidents that have taken place in the past in Nepal, and it does seem like this is going to be a matter of huge concern. Like you said, reports have already come in of how the situation is bad, rescue operations almost over, is it?
Yeah, the fire has been put off.
The fire has been put off, but there were 19 on board, the pilot grievously injured. But this also, you know, we have to hark back on the question that we always ask on Nepal, which is, this is not the first time. We've seen so many such incidents. The Nepalese authorities will have to now look at and investigate what really happened. It seemed like initial reports suggested that it skid off the runway, but it did not skid off the runway. It was skidding off the runway because it had already started plummeting from, it was an air fall. So we do not know unless and until the black box. The most important part or component in a plane once it crashes is the black box. Once the black box is retrieved and investigations are carried out as to what happened, the black box certainly will reveal what really has happened or took place. What were the details of just ahead of the accident having occurred, and that's when we'll get to know what really happened. But for now, it seems like this has been a massive fatality in Nepal, and not the first time. You just now said, enumerated quite a few.
About 12 incidents that has happened in the last 1 decade, and all fatal crashes. About last year we saw about 72 people died in a
72
crash,
yeah.
and the average is about. So Nepal witnesses 1 fatal crash every year.
Yeah.
And Nepal is a country whose economy is dependent on tourism. And on the top of that, it's not been able to put in more security checks and more safety measures for its aviation industry.
Yeah, and not just that, Ishita, if you look at the tourism part itself, you see this was also a small plane. Yeah. The fact that there were only 19 on board, yes. Most of them are not the big planes, it's the small plane. This was to take passengers from Kathmandu to Pokhara.
Yes.
So these are the flights that you see from Kathmandu to Pokhara, which is again a tourism site, a beautiful place. But these short distances are always covered by the small planes, and maintenance of these small planes always come in question, because you see a lot of these incidents take place in Nepal when it comes to the smaller planes. Mm-hmm. So yes, Saurya Airlines will have to again answer for what really happened and how this incident took place. For now, it's a very sad incident. Our heart goes out to the families of the victims. We do not have details of the nationality right now.
Details of passengers is not out.
Yes, so we will certainly get to know the details of the passengers, which would include nationalities, because they might not all be from Nepal. They could be travelers from outside. So a lot of the embassies now will start dialing up to see if their citizens have been part of the crash. That is part of protocol and process. Else the other way around, where Tribhuvan International Airport will now then start checking all the documents, check the passenger list that is shared with all airports, and see who the nationalities were who were on board that flight. So it is a tragic incident, but one which we have been, you specifically have been reporting on, and one that we will have to wait and see how that really pans out for Nepal, but certainly a major incident. If you could enumerate a few of the incidents that took place, and we'll just go through those incidents yet again, because this is important for our viewers. They ought to understand the fact that while this is the latest, not the first. Exactly. And Ishita, take it away. Just let us know, what are the other incidents that have taken place?
All right, so as I mentioned before, that Nepal has had a history of plane crashes, and if you see just the last decade, it's had about 12 fatal plane crashes. Just last year, in January 2023, a tragic accident took place when a Yeti Airlines flight crashed near the central city of Pokhara, the same city as the incident happened in today. Like, the plane was en route to this city, and all 72 on board were killed. This included the passengers and the crew members. The way it happened was the aircraft plummeted into a steep gorge, breaking into pieces and bursting into flames as it approached the tourism hub. If we go a year back on 2022, a Tara Airlines plane crashed near the Mustang district. This resulted in about 22 fatalities and all individuals aboard were killed. In March 2018, 49 people were killed in another incident when a US Bangla airline carrying about 67 passengers and 4 crew members crashed at Kathmandu's Tribhuvan International Airport.
Ishita, there's just news coming in, and we'll ask our producers, Rudra or Farhan, to just put out this information, but we can't put out the names, so we'll just give out the information that of the 17, so we have 17 passengers who were on board, and of the passengers, 18 of them are Nepali citizens and just one foreign national. We do not know which nationality, but yes, foreign national. There's 17 of them, I suppose, because it says staff. The rest of them are staff.
Basically, all of them were
They were
staff
all
and technical staff. Yes, no passengers were on board.
So this was an aircraft that was actually carrying staff from Kathmandu to Pokhara.
Yes,
and you have one staff who is a foreign national, and the rest of them are all Nepali nationals. So condolences to the family members of those who've
lost their lives
because as of now we do know that the pilot is the only one who has survived with severe injuries, but they've not declared everybody dead or perished officially. They're just saying that the pilot has survived for now. So yes, but this is a fatal crash, so possibility and chances of survival, even for the pilot actually, Ishita, even for the pilot is quite rare.
Injured.
In the past instances, I don't think we've had any instance where passengers or crew members have actually survived.
There've been barely any incident that we've seen, because the crashes have been at such a scale. You've seen, the plane going into flames, just bursting out. So the chance of survival becomes very bleak when it comes to such incidents.
This one, I suppose, because it went off the runway and caught fire, which is why I suppose the pilot, we really do not know how he managed to survive this crash, because it's absolutely rare. So one foreign national and 16. As of now, the numbers are showing 16. Total number 17. We do not know who the additional 2 are. Okay. But the staff on board who were passengers were 16 of them were Nepali nationals and 1 foreign national. So that's news just coming in. We're trying to get information from the ground as well. We have reporters who are reporting from Tribhuvan International Airport. We'll try getting that phono that was recorded a while ago from the ground from a reporter of the network who is at the airport. But these are details that are trickling in right now. It seems like this is going to be a news that will play out in Nepal and across the world, given that we are seeing loss of lives. Not the first time that we're seeing that in Nepal. But again, Ishita, 19 of them is what is being reported were on board. 17 were technical staff as passengers, and of which 16 were Nepali citizens and 1 foreign national. So that's the news coming in. But again, if you could just take us through the details till we get a ground report or get an official response from Tribhuvan International Airport.
All right, so let me break it down for you what exactly happened. This fatal plane crash occurred at about 11 a.m. local time at Kathmandu. It happened at Tribhuvan International Airport. This plane, which was en route to Pokhara, was taking off when this crash happened, and soon it caught fire. Rescue operations began. Police and firefighters came to the spot, but they could not save about 18 of the people who were on board this aircraft. It was carrying about 19 people, and this included mostly, as ma'am mentioned, this included mostly the technical staff and the air crew. No passengers were on board, and it was a short flight from Kathmandu to Pokhara when this incident happened. And again, it's not the first incident that has happened. Nepal has had a bad history of crashes.
Okay, some more information coming in, Ishita, if you could. This is the Civil Aviation Authority of Nepal, and according to today's date, which is on Wednesday, this is a statement that has been put out, so we'll just read that out. Saurya Airlines took off from Kathmandu at 11:11 a.m. local time to Pokhara, turned right and crashed on the east side of the runway.
All right, so this is the statement that is coming out, and it said that the airline took the aircraft took off from Kathmandu at about 11 a.m. 11 to be very specific, and it turned right, and this crashed on the east side of the runway. Now, this is a very similar pattern that has happened in earlier crashes as well. It is reported that the fire was brought under control and the rescue work was started immediately after the crash. And the dead bodies. Okay, so we have this news coming in that the bodies of 18 people have been recovered, and so they've been confirmed dead, and about one injured person, that is the pilot, was rescued and he has been taken to the hospital. And so this is the statement from the Search and Rescue Coordination Center, Nepal Civil Aviation Authority, just coming in. And the new information that we're getting in is that 18 people have been confirmed dead. Their bodies have been recovered from the accident site, while the pilot is in critical condition and continues to be in the hospital.
Well, that's grave news that's come in at this point in time. We are looking at critical information that has come in on the accident. We waited for an official confirmation, but yes, now it is confirmed that 18 people on board that fateful aircraft have been declared dead, and one survivor, which is the pilot, but he's also critically injured, so hoping and praying that he survives this crash. Again, we'll have to wait for the details from the black box to get more information as to what really transpired, what really happened for this crash to have taken place. Also, the survival of the pilot would be quite critical, Ishita, because at least he'd be able to tell exactly what went wrong. But like I said, small aircraft in Nepal is a very common feature, because there are a smaller number of people traveling to these tourist sites, and you do not require a Boeing or a big aircraft for that. And that's why you'd see a lot of small planes that fly from one destination to the other. And again, we've seen incidents such as this in the past as well. So the Nepal authorities will have to see whether if there has been maintenance, regular maintenance checks and balances that are required to ensure that their fleet is absolutely in perfect condition. We'll get to know all those details in a while from now, but that's the big story that we'll be tracking through the day. This is a major story, a major development, and we'll come back to you with details on what has happened on the ground, if there are details that are available with regards to the investigation that will follow suit, and if there are any press briefings and conferences that will be held, because there certainly will be press conferences and information that the Nepalese authorities will be putting out there. So we'll get all of those details to you, but for now it's a wrap on this edition of our news break.